Well, as you saw right there, we do have a lot of really cool running trails around here. Well, in Colorado, running is a really popular pastime. People run by themselves, with friends, even take their pets for that run. Well, medical expert Dr. Kohli answers a Coco viewer's question about the phenomenon called runner's high. You heard of that? Well, check this out.
Well, Dr. Kohli, we talk about exercising all the time, and we do plug on the show all the time that we want you guys to write in and ask questions for Dr. Kohli. This one was from one of our viewers, and I'm so happy they wrote in because I have a really similar question. So they wanted to know a little bit more about runner's high, what it is and what causes it.
It's such a great feeling, Jenny, when you have it. I was just exercising yesterday and I felt it. And so essentially runner's high is a brief sense of euphoria, happiness that you feel after some kind of an intense activity. And actually, it's also been associated with the reduced sensations of anxiety, an increase in our pain threshold. So we're likely to feel less pain when we're having our runner's high. And it's basically induced by intense cardiovascular activity.
Wow, that is so awesome. And I've only felt it a couple of times, but I know that when you're in that moment, it feels great. You feel like you can run forever. It just makes you feel so awesome. So when you do hit your runner's high, is it an indication of something dangerous at all?
No, not at all, in fact. And it's interesting because evolutionarily, we think that the runner's high evolved as a way to help us feel good while we're running away from a predator.
Ah, I love that.
So it's actually just a way for our body to sort of say, oh, good, this is good, what's happening? So that it really helps to offset some of those, fast heart rate feelings that can happen when you're exercising. So historically, we thought it was all endorphins that were causing the runner's high. But there's a number of new studies that tell us that it's not actually the endorphins that are necessarily causing it, even though we do have a lot of endorphin release when we're running, but it's a substance called endocannabinoids, which is basically the active, physiologically active substance in THC. So it's sort of like getting a little high, and that's why it's called a high, every time we exercise. And that's what really induces those feelings of well-being and helps us to feel good. It's not a sign of danger, it's actually just a sign of your body enjoying the cardiovascular stimulation.
Well, I love that. I know that a lot of people at home especially are talking and have talked to me about, I really wish I could get that runner's high, and I've tried so hard to do it, and I just can't. Is there a reason why some people get it and just some don't?
This is very poorly understood. So we don't exactly know why some people get it, some don't. In fact, the same person can do the same activity a few times and sometimes not necessarily trigger it. So we know that it's a complex interplay of things that cause the runner's high. We know, however, that the more runner's highs that you have, the more likely you are to have them again. We also know they can happen at different time points. So some people actually get a runner's high while they're running, about 30 minutes or 60 minutes into their exercise, whereas some people can get it after they finish running. Really, when you kind of have that glow on you after you've done your exercise. So very variable. We're still trying to understand exactly what causes it, but it is such an amazing feeling, both in the short term and in the long term, because it translates into less mental health, risks, less anxiety, lower blood pressure, lower heart rate, all of those physiologic benefits.
Well, and you mentioned too that it's a cardiovascular, something that happens during cardiovascular exercise. Does that mean it can happen when you're biking or doing other things other than running?
Absolutely. And I'm not a runner. I just can't do it because of the knees and the repetitive motion. So I personally like Zumba.
Yeah,
because it's fun and you're dancing and it's aerobics.
I love that.
And so any kind of cardiovascular activity that causes the heart rate to get up. So walking the dog doesn't count. Because you're not getting that heart rate up. But if you like swimming, you like biking, Peloton, aerobics, any of those types of things will get your heart rate up. It'll give you that runner's high.
That is amazing. All right, guys, we'll see another excuse to get outside and get exercising. Dr. Kohli, thank you so much. I'm going to come do a Zumba class with you sometime.
I would love that.
That sounds fun.
And we've been getting a lot of questions from you, our viewers, to ask Dr. Kohli. So if you have a topic or question, message us on our Facebook page, Colorado and Company on 9 News. Your topic may just end up on the show.